All right, so I'm very excited today to be sitting down with the CEO of Dealers Wholesale, Jimmy Rayford. Jimmy, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure.
It's real exciting because Dealers Wholesale launched a culture of good this year. So, in the midst of everything else going on, you managed to pull that
We didn't
off.
have enough to do.
Right. So what was the spark that really began the journey for Dealers Wholesale and really for you as a leader at the very beginning? Because we talked about it, and it wasn't very long after that you were like, let's do this.
Yeah, so I think since I joined the company as CEO back in January, a lion's share of what we've been doing since then has really been centered around culture. The pandemic was a big challenge for us, and my whole thing about our approach in the pandemic was two things: is that we were going to lean on the side of putting people first,
Yeah.
and on the other side of it, we wanted to be stronger as an organization post-pandemic than we were pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we were doing was around culture. After talking to you, the more I learned about the culture of good, I felt it would allow us to hone in even more on exactly what we wanted to do and extend that beyond our four walls.
Yeah.
And be able to do that in a real process oriented,
Right.
rolled out fashion. So I got excited about being able to make the connection, not just for my employees here, but kind of extend the good that we were trying to do within our four walls, outside of our four walls, and partnering with you and learning from what's worked well, so we could just kind of piggyback right along with that.
Yeah, I always think about that idea and how much of a responsibility we have to not just manage people, but to really lead them.
Right.
And I think culture is that catalyst as leaders that we have to be able to really step up into that leadership position and see transformative work, not just in the workplace, but in people's lives.
Yeah.
So what has shifted since the inception of Culture of Good at Dealers Wholesale? Like the beginning stages, everything was very conceptual, and the philosophy you agreed with, and you knew there was a process. Do you feel like anything within the business has started to shift at all?
I think what the Culture of Good has really brought to us is focus. All companies, you kind of get these requests just kind of coming in, right? And everything is worthy of support. So you don't really know, what you support, because you really don't have, a purpose, right? You don't have a cause to be able to bounce those requests off of.
Right.
So being able to establish our cause kind of helped us focus on where we wanted to volunteer and be philanthropic. And I think the other thing for us is we've been working on how we define our cause as a company before we even heard of the culture of good. And we tended to want to define that cause too much around product.
Right.
In some ways, somebody's going to mention doors and fireplaces because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But defining our cause through the culture of good process will be how we actually define our corporate cause.
Yeah. So share a little bit about the cause. I mean, what elements of the cause were brought up for Dealers Wholesale?
Yeah. So what we do through our products and service is we provide the community with warmth, comfort, and security. That's different than talking about doors, frames, hardware, fireplace, grills, right? And just kind of raise it up a level and say, what do those products actually mean to people? That creates kind of a higher mission.
Yeah.
People get warmed by products. People get behind our doors, and that can be a sense of safety and security for you and your family. So I think that's been real helpful, just for me personally, in terms of you can get wrapped up into the day-to-day, the P&L, the balance sheet, but also keeping in mind what our products actually mean to people in terms of serving our cause.
We've got leaders out here. I'd love for you just to share in terms of leadership around culture and just your heart to other leaders around why they should consider even looking into culture of good for their organization.
First of all, I would always encourage all leaders that you have to be authentic with yourself. Mm-hmm. And so there's a pragmatic side of this in terms of culture of good, reducing employee turnover, improving employee engagement, but all of those things are what happens when you kind of get one-off initiatives. The way I think leaders should think about culture of good and culture in general is an opportunity to really and truly transform the organization. When I think about the culture of good, I think about fundamentally changing the way that we view ourselves and that our employees view the work that they do, and that is going to pay off, I believe, for us in ways that I can't even imagine. So a lot of times we talk about transformations within business. I think this is another avenue for a very powerful business transformation.
What gets you excited about culture good? Like, what's coming up? What do you guys got going on?
So we got our first Big Good event coming up that we're working on right now. So again, with providing warmth, comfort, and security, we are partnering with Dayspring Shelter.
That's cool.
It is a shelter based here in Indianapolis. We're doing basically a supplies drive for that camp. So we're doing everything from food and snacks to games to masks to footwear, kind of whatever they need to really set them up to have a good camp for those children. And what gets me excited about that is just actually visualizing the kids at the camp,
right,
and improving their experience. So that's going to be the first thing we're working on. And then the other phases is we are going to paint at Dayspring. So they have 14, 15 rooms. So we're going to go in and do some painting of the rooms and kind of right with what we do. They also have some doors and access control needs. So we're going to go in and replace some doors and give them some better access control, which will also provide for a more secure facility. So we're kind of doing everything from initially just focusing on the kids, and then we're going to focus on the facility and kind of wrap those things together in a multi-phase Big Good event.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for trusting us at Culture of Good. If you want more information around our cohort, we have a new one popping off here in the fall this year. So reach out to me at Ryan at Culture of Good, or you can find us at cultureofgood.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you, Jimmy.
Thank you, brother.